Good morning, everybody. It's Tuesday the 21st. So today, just a very short overview of some couple review activities that I'm going to be asking you to do over the next couple weeks. And also just some general announcements about the week upcoming. So first of all, you see here on the screen is an art history review. This is a pretty effective overview of some of the art that we need to know about or remember. And I would like you to complete this over the next couple days so that you have it available for you. You'll see that there's a little chart, the genre, the artists, the era if necessary. And then on the bottom here, we have some certain specific examples of these types of artwork. So this is pretty indicative. It's not the end-all be-all list, but it certainly gives you some ideas of the schools of art. One of the things that we were we didn't really get a chance to talk too much about was the more modern art, the Cubists, and to some extent the Surrealists. So that is sort of fair game because that's kind of in the end of period 7. So I'll be doing some stuff with that later on as we get closer to the test. But just for safety's sake, make sure you get through all that. So it should be relatively easy to find and put these in the proper spot. So that's one thing. Now the big one. This is the rescue packet. I was really torn about giving this out this year when some of my APUSH students from last year said, are they going to get something like this because it really helped them? So and these were people who got 4s and 5s on the test, they said this was really a key thing for them. So it's called the rescue packet. It's long, I'm sorry to say, but again, you have weeks. You have several weeks to get this in. My recommendation for you would be to do this as we kind of go along, so you have an idea. We've covered things in our 40 and our 20 questions, and then if you have some time during the course of the day, while it's still fresh in your mind, to go back to the packet and fill that in as you need. So terms, some of the information is given for you. Some of the information you have to find out. And again, the purpose of this is, like, if the DBQ is connecting the 30 Years' War with the Revolutionary Wars of the French, oh my God, I can't remember the 30 Years' War, where you can quick page back and you have this little box on the 30 Years' War that will refresh your memory. That's the purpose of an open note test. Open notes are not going to replace your content knowledge and what you've learned over the course of the year. You're just not going to do it. You don't have time. So this is, we're preparing as if we were preparing for the big test, so to speak. So keep that in the back of your mind as you're doing this. I guarantee you, if you're going to have pages and pages of notes in your textbook, you're not going to have time to write a decent response. So it needs to come from your brain quite a bit. So this is just there as a security blanket, maybe to remind you of a couple things, maybe make some connections, that type of thing. Okay, so again, I know it's long, but you have time to do it, and if you break it up, in sections, you'll be just fine. So where we've covered thus far is basically the Renaissance. We kind of got to the wars of religion. We need to go back a little. We talked a little bit about the Reformation. So we're on the first 3 pages, and we'll continue. And as we get closer, when we get to the cause of World War I, a lot of the stuff is a lot simpler, and we've covered it relatively recently. So that's the nature of review. So that's the outstanding thing for the next couple weeks is the review packet. You'll hear me reference that quite a bit. Lastly, so tomorrow we're going to be meeting via Zoom. We're going to cover a couple 40-20 questions. I can address issues or questions regarding this. But I would like you to block off some time on Friday. So this is the plan for Friday. Friday we will have a Zoom meeting again at 9:30, provided that I don't have any emergency meetings or anything like that. And this is what I'm going to ask you to be doing. I have a bunch of 5-question DBQs set up. And what we need practice on, I think, is sourcing the documents. So what I'm going to ask you to do, I'm going to show you the question. I'm going to just generally walk through the documents very, very quickly. And then we're going to end it pretty quick. And what I'm asking you to set up right now is some sort of block of time, preferably immediately after our Zoom conference, where you can time yourself. And I'm saying about 20-25 minutes to source those documents. So what I'm going to ask you to do is come up with a thesis question or a thesis in response to the question, and then source all 5 documents within 25 minutes. Okay, I think we need practice on that time element. Now, to make life a little bit simpler for you, I'm going to have that due at 6 o'clock on Friday evening. So that is somewhat, I think, reasonable. But the understand what we're trying to do here. You have to write a whole DBQ in 45 minutes. You know, we already know context. We already know counter argument, that kind of stuff. But we just need practice on sourcing the documents, and we need practice on that clock ticking. I would also ask, if you can, is to set up some sort of clock where you can manage your time. So this is really a sort of I don't want to say a dry run, but we need to get better at that, or we need to start practicing it more so than anything. You might be good at it right away. I don't know, and you don't know, so we need some time to practice that. So please block off some time on your schedule. Again, if the Zoom meeting on Friday is going to be really, really short, so if you know, that usually hour that we have, or 45 minutes, that should be enough time. So in a perfect world, you get done with your Zoom thing, you set up your clock, and off you go. You're going to send it to Turnitin. And you'd be done by 11 o'clock or 10:30, really. But I'll keep it open until 6 because I know people are working or you have other classes, so I understand that. So if there's any real problem with that, please contact me. I don't think it should be a problem, and as you know, in this format of distance learning, I'm pretty flexible with stuff like that. But we're getting close enough now where, I'm sorry, your AP test is taking precedence over other things. So at least other schoolwork. But if you have family commitments or something like that, I understand. But so just block off some time, about an hour at the most. So we get practice uploading it and all that kind of stuff. So that's, I'll remind you more of this on Wednesday and again on Thursday. But I just want to get you set up so you have some time on Friday for practice sourcing of a DBQ. In the meantime, get going on your art review and or your rescue packet. If there's questions, let me know. So I will see you tomorrow at 9:30.